Hastings, the president of the Burbank Police Foundation, and welcome to the safest place in all of Los Angeles today. And look around you and you'll understand why you're at the safest place, because you're with one of the finest police departments in the United States of America. The reason for this luncheon, it's our third annual recognition of people in the community and officers and staff that go the extra mile and do extraordinary works for the city of Burbank. And we as citizens, residents, and business people are very grateful to them, because it should obviously show our police department by the showing here today and all of the events that the foundation put on how much we appreciate them. At this time, I'd like you to all please stand for the presentation of the colors of the Burbank Police Color Guard for the National Anthem. Color Guard, please.
Uniform personnel, up and jump. Detail. Pull. Left. Hey. Uniform personnel. Present arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket red glared, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was due there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order, order. Color guard, post colors. Forward, march.
Ready, hope. Up, out, face. Forward, march. Left, face. Forward, march.
Take seats.
Ladies and gentlemen, the National Anthem by Kiyomi, Roberts, Burbank's own. Color Guard, Burbank's own Color Guard. Kiyomi has done this at a number of events for us, and it's always nice to be able to have talent within the ranks. Imagine being pulled over by someone like that singing a ticket to you. Interesting way to do business in Burbank. One of the things that I'd like to do very quickly with you is have you understand the Burbank Police Foundation. It was about 4 years ago that I met with the police chief and pulled together some very, very intelligent people that without their help and without their wisdom, without their hard work, we never would have been able to pull the foundation off. And that is Claudio Lasacco and Shelly Rosati. Could I have a round of applause for them, please? We struck out to build a foundation that would be, excuse the expression, bulletproof, because we are representing some of the finest public servants in our community and in our country. So we made sure it was done correctly. We had fantastic cooperation with the Burbank Police Officers Association to where we merged the foundations so that we could do this basically together. We are made up of business residents, business people and residents, and people within the office of the police chief and also the police chief and some sworn officers, so that it's a good, well-rounded representation of Burbank on our foundation. We focus mainly on the good works of the Burbank Police Department, and we come together and we do things, for instance, like the Matthew Pavelka Scholarship. And this, I believe it's this weekend, a number of us will be reviewing close to 40 applications for scholarships, and we give out a $1,000 scholarship to students at all of our public high schools, seniors, and also our private schools. We do the Downed Officers Fund, which is, I'm going to have to say, is sad for us because we've had to shrink our geographic reach, because as a foundation we would send a $500 check to the families of the downed officers, and last year and starting into this year, tirelessly we've been writing checks which break our hearts. So we've had to shrink down our reach, which is not a nice thing to have to talk about. But again, it should show us all the respect that we should have for every single officer, sworn and unsworn, people within the police department, all that they do for us here in Burbank. We put on some fun events. We do a Family Fun Festival, which this year will be October 28th at Johnny Carson Park. Tremendous success last year. Over 3,500 people showed up. We do this luncheon. We do a mailing. We come up with other events that happen every once in a while. We've done bocce tournaments in the past. We've done 2 in the past. We're planning another one for this late spring, where bocce ball, if you're not familiar with it, you roll a little ball down to hit another ball. You get excellent at it the more you drink. So we've found that a lot of people enjoy playing bocce ball. So we'll be doing that again this year. Again, part of the reason we're here is to recognize the hard work of also the Burbank Foundation. I'd like them to please all stand up, and I'd like to introduce them to you. Christina Spratt is the president-elect. Doug Smith, he's our treasurer. Anita Hutchinson is the secretary. Alan Arzonian, Dennis Cremens, Andrea Cunningham, Jan Hacker, Scott LaChasse, Claudia Lasacco, Lawrence Nelson, J.J. Puglisi, and our newest board member, Linda Gregorian. Without them, none of this happens. Please, a round of applause for all of them. I'd like now to welcome to the podium the Chief of the Burbank Police, Scott LaChasse. Chief.
Good afternoon. You know, this is indeed a good day. It's not just the weather out there, but it's a little relief from the turbulence and the vitriol we're seeing in our society today. So I hope the media is here, and I hope the media reports on all the good deeds and acts of our personnel. So before I move forward, the first thing I want to do is recognize every member of the Burbank Police Department, not only for those individuals that are going to be honored here today, but for every member of the department. And one of the things that we lose sight of, particularly in police work, is it's just not the folks out there in the blue suits. It's all the support personnel, including our civilians. And when you hear some of the commendations today, there are going to be civilian personnel that are involved, and particularly with the, there was a shooting at McDonald's that you'll hear recapped in just a bit. But we had a lifeline on the other side of the radio, and those were our communications operators. So if we could all give a round of applause to all of the Burbank Police Department for the good work they do every day. So today is the day we're going to recognize the stellar performances of our personnel and members of the community. Today's awards represent acts of courage, compassion, selflessness, outstanding judgment, life-saving, and teamwork. The Life-Saving Award is a new award, and this is all a work in progress, and as we continue to grow, we continue to create new categories for people that deserve honors. It is with a great deal of pride today that we recognize a true partnership that has been involved in one of our critical incidents. And what I want to do is reassure everybody here that there is a huge system in LA that protects all of us. So you will hear the McDonald's incident recap today. That occurred, and it was beyond our capabilities really to respond and handle it to its normal conclusion. It occurred on Hollywood Way. The Airport Authority police responded. We have a Glendale Burbank Air Support Unit, but they were down at the time. But we do have an agreement with the Pasadena Police Department that when we're down, they're up, and vice versa. So the Pasadena Police Department responded. So we really had, in essence, a mutual aid effort that gets worked quite often in our basin. We're a part of a mutual aid area, and I want to reassure everybody here that whenever we have a critical incident, we have the ability and we have an agreement in place to draw resources from other departments, and that's exactly what happened here, and it was seamless, and it's because of the dedication of our personnel, their training, and the good supervision. What I'd like to do now is recognize our sponsors and contributors once again and make a few comments in addition to what Michael Hastings has already made about members of the foundation. This is a low-budget foundation. There's absolutely no overhead that goes into anything that we do. It's truly from the heart that each of our members serves. And I think that's great because there are no administrative costs, there is no overhead. So for the contributors here today, the sponsors, the money that we receive is going to be dedicated to certain causes. Some of it's training, some of it is the scholarships. But be reassured that every dime goes directly to benefit somebody other than the board of directors, which I think is a great thing. So again, let's give a round of applause to the board members. And thank you to the dedicated and hardworking men and women of the Burbank Police Department. Let's give them a round of applause. So I use the terms vitriol and turbulence that kind of predominate in our society today. So I'm going to take the liberty of maybe a minute or two of discussion because everybody in this room is a caring, responsible individual. So I was recently with a group of police professionals that met with some folks from academia. They were actually futurists. And we're trying to figure out what law enforcement needs to succeed in the future. So we're looking at such items as the personality dimensions of what it's going to take to be a good police officer in the future. Also looked at different ways of providing good service to people. During that conversation, we kept getting back to what's going on in today's society where people are basically intolerant of other people, and where it used to be okay to agree to disagree, now we've divided into teams almost. So in the course of our discussion, we're talking about what police officers can do to try to keep us together as a society and to keep people moving in the same direction. Again, we can always agree to disagree. But I mention that today because you are representatives of the community. You wouldn't be here if you weren't responsible and caring. So if there's a message that we can leave with, it's for all of us to try to make sure that everybody that we come in contact with will do what we want them to do for the good of society, and that is treat each one of the persons they're in contact with, whether they agree with them or not, treat them with dignity and respect and with civility. So with that, I conclude my remarks. Again, this is a great day for the Burbank Police Department, the Burbank community, the awardees. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief. We have so many distinguished guests with us today that I'd like to go through them all, and if you don't mind, hold your applause till we're finished, but we are very, very gratified that these people felt it important enough to attend our event. From the city of Burbank, we have the, and I'll never have to live this down for the rest of my life, the Centennial Mayor, Jess Ceremonies. We have Vice Mayor Will Rogers, Council Member Bob Frutos, Council Member Emily Gable-Luddy, and former Mayor, and it's always nice to have him here, Mary Lou Howard is here. Mary Lou, want to stand up? The first woman elected in the city of Burbank? Mary Lou, stand up. She is standing up. Yeah, there she is. Mary Lou Howard. Thank you, Mary Lou. City Manager Ron Davis, Assistant City Manager Justin Hess, City Treasurer Debbie Cookta, City Clerk Zette Mullins, City Attorney Amy Albano, City Attorney Denny Wee, Community Development Director Patrick Prescott, Burbank Public Library Service Director Elizabeth Goldman, and Judy Wilkie, the Director of Park and Recreations. Burbank Police Commissioners Mike Chapman, Hakop Hergerlian, and Elise Stearns. Former Police Commissioners Nat Rubenfeld, Rick Warmack. Burbank Unified School District Superintendent Matt Hill. Joining us from the Glendale Police Department, Police Chief Robert Castro, Deputy Chief Carl Pavlidis, Glendale Captain Stuart Bracken, Glendale Commander Teresa Goldman, Office Services Supervisor Luzine Yarian, Glendale Community College Police Department Chief Gary Montecchiolo, Sergeant Aaron Curaz, Burbank Glendale Pasadena Airport, as we like to call it, the Bob Hope Airport, Police Commander Alan Schmidt, Pasadena Police Department Air Operations Section Sergeant William Grisafe, and forgive me if I'm saying that wrong, and Pasadena Police Chief Philip Sanchez. If you would all please stand so we can recognize you with a round of applause. Stand up. Stand up. You're recognized. Thank you. And you know, we're pleased to partner with our county, state, and federal elected officials today who have provided each honoree with a beautiful certificate of recognition for a job well done. Please join me in welcoming U.S. Congressman Honorable Adam Schiff, represented here today by Pamela Marcello, State Senator Honorable Anthony Portantino, also represented here by Arda Chakakian, State Assembly Honorable Laura Friedman, represented here by Blake Dillinger, LA County Board of Supervisors Honorable Catherine Barger, represented here by Eric Matos. And we'd like to thank the Office of Congress Brad Sherman, who was unable to attend, but again, to all of you, thank you very much. If you'd like to stand up so we can recognize you. If there's anyone I forgot, please stand up and we'll applaud you. I guess we did all right. Bob, I recognized you. No need to stand up for a second time. Nothing like running for office, Bob. You know what I mean? Got to get that extra kick in there. Okay. Now I would like a moment to highlight the tremendous community support that we've received. And we would not be able to honor our terrific police department without the generous support and the help of all the financial contributions. I would like to at least recognize our gold sponsors who are here with us: Automated Laundry Systems, Burbank City Federal Credit Union, Burbank Police Chief Scott LaChasse puts his money where his mouth is, Burbank Police Captain Dennis Cremens, ditto, Cusimano Real Estate Group, always there, Peerless Building Maintenance, Smith & Mandel Associates, Steve K, Healthcare Management Services, the Walt Disney Company, and UBS Financial Services, and we'd like to thank our silver sponsors and our bronze sponsors as well. Please, a round of applause for our sponsors. Now, I think when you walked in, you saw that there was salad and dessert. But there is something in the middle, and we will be bringing it out. And please now enjoy your lunch. We'll come back, and we'll move forward with the presentations. Is there something I forgot, Chief? Oh, yes. I am so sorry. I did miss something in my script, and it's there. It's my fault, not someone else's. We have an invocation. So if you could stop eating just for a second, please. My tremendous apologies. Father David Bedrossian. Father, please forgive me. It's Lent, so please forgive me. Please come forward if you'd like. It's all about forgiveness, Father. It's all about forgiveness. Thank you.
I was like, when is going to hold me? Everybody ate.
Good job.
Can I say a joke?
Go right ahead.
Okay. Who likes hunting? Hunt. You know, a man that I know, he likes hunting, and he wants on a hunting trip for 3 days. He gets there, he prepares all his stuff, you know, and he starts hunting. After 2 days, all the bullets were gone, nothing left. And he decided to go back. On the way back to his tent, to pack and go back home, a tiger comes. And he was trying to shoot the tiger, forget that there is no bullet. He starts running at the tiger after him. He starts running at the tiger after him till he gets to the place there is no chance to escape. Then he fell on his knees and he started praying. Oh Lord, please save me. Lord, make this tiger think like us Christians. Give him your spirit, Lord. I have no choice, and now I command my soul into your hand. After he finished, closed his eyes, the tiger said, oh Lord, bless this food. God heard his prayer, you know? The tiger. And now can we close our eyes and pray for our beautiful men and women here in the city of Burbank. Lord, we once again thank you for this opportunity to gather here to honor each other. We give you thanks for the blessings that this department has received in each department in the state of California and nationwide, for its leaders, for its memberships, and every citizen, but most of all for its spirit. Heavenly Father, guide us as we protect those you love. Help us to serve those that are in danger, that are defenseless, that are hopeless, and guide us to protect as we serve our people. Grant us wisdom to see beyond the superficial in situations. Help us to be people of honor and dignity, that we would be above a reproach of all the facets of life. Use us, Lord, to be a shining example for all to see, that when the word police officer is said, that is would be spoken in the highest regard. We also ask you, Lord, and thank you for the wonderful men and women gathered here today, who put their lives in danger daily to serve and protect others. We thank you for the calling them into this profession, and we thank you for their dedication and service. And we ask you, Lord, to continue to watch over all and protect the officers and their families as well. But let us not forget our brothers and sisters who have answered their last call. We ask you, Lord, to comfort their families. Gracious Father, bless the food we are about to receive as a nourishment for our bodies. The stories told as nourishment for our minds, and the fellowship we share as nourishment for our souls. We ask this in your name. Amen. Bon appetit.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if we may get started with our presentation. The reason that we are here today, I hope you enjoyed your lunch. Our thanks to Pickwick Gardens. Is Ron Stavert here? Ron, are you here? Stand up, Ron. Is Ron Stavert here? Is Ron Stavert here? He's getting old as I am. There he is, Ron Stavert. Thank you very much. He runs Pickwick Gardens, owns Pickwick Gardens. If you like the food, that's the guy to shake his hands. If you didn't like the food, his staff is here to answer any questions you might have. Thank you, Ron. Well, today we're here to express our appreciation and give thanks to the many sworn and non-sworn men and women who keep the Burbank Police Department running smoothly. Their outstanding efforts keep Burbank safe 24/7. And now, for our awards presentation, I'd like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon, a longtime Burbank resident, Mr. Jim Roope. Let me tell you a little bit about Jim. Hold on a sec. Jim is an accomplished radio broadcaster, and I told him he was not allowed to blush until I got finished, and a journalist who is driven by an incredible passion for self-expression. He has been a recipient of 12 Golden Mike Awards, which is Southern California's most prestigious and coveted broadcast journalism prize. In addition, he has received 2 Peabody Awards, which recognize distinguished achievement and meritorious public service, and more importantly to some of us in this room, he's a Brother Knight of Columbus. So we appreciate Jim taking time away from his job as a radio correspondent for Westwood One. Please help me in join and welcoming Brother Jim Roope.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. I first need to apologize to our mayor because I've seen him a few times out and about, and I had no idea the official way to greet him is Centennial Mayor. So I apologize, and we'll do better at that. Also, tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, so this is sort of the calm before the storm for many of you in uniform. So we relaxed today. In fact, it was last St. Patrick's Day up on Glen Oaks. There was a husband and wife driving home from a party. One of our Burbank finest lit him up, pulled him over, walked up to the window on the driver's side and told the man, "I'm going to give you 2 tickets. One because you were speeding, and the other because you didn't have your seatbelt on." And he said, "Officer, I had my seatbelt on. I just loosened it when you were walking up to the car." The officer looked into the window at the wife and said, "Ma'am, I know he had his seatbelt off driving, correct?" She said, "Oh, officer, I learned a long time ago never to argue with my husband when he's drunk." 3 tickets. Just trying to dovetail off Father Bedrossian's joke. Yeah. It is such an honor to be back for the 3rd annual Burbank Police Officers Awards Luncheon. It's so important to take time each year to come together and recognize the hard work and contributions of the men and women of the Burbank Police Department, as well as the citizens and members of this beautiful Burbank community. Over the next hour and 38 minutes, I'm kidding, it's not going to be that long, I'm privileged to share stories of courage, bravery, professionalism, and honor. These are stories that have impacted so many lives within our community. But before our first award, I'd like to take a moment to remember and recognize an iconic figure in Burbank, a doctor of veterinary medicine, Martin Small. Dr. Small passed away in January of this year, January 27th, 88 years old. He was a fixture at the Burbank Animal Shelter, where he served as a volunteer medical director for well over a decade. Dr. Small practiced veterinary medicine for over 40 years. He was a compassionate, caring man who loved the outdoors, traveling, the arts. Most of all, he loved his family and his friends. Dr. Small was a wonderful husband to his late wife, Judy, devoted father and loving grandfather. He is missed by all, but never forgotten for his tremendous contributions. It is great pleasure that we recognize Dr. Small's daughter, Diane, and his granddaughter, Felicia. They have joined us today. Where are they? They are where? Thank you very much, Diana and Felicia. And now we begin with our very first award of the afternoon. On the evening of October 23rd, 2016, Officer Cameron Brown was off duty enjoying a Halloween haunted house with his family and his friends. As they walked through the house, things looked and took a serious and drastic turn. One of Officer Brown's friends, a 56-year-old male with special needs, suddenly collapsed. It became obvious that Officer Brown's friend was having a medical emergency. Remaining calm, Officer Brown instructed someone to call 911. He then determined that his friend was not breathing, had no pulse. Without hesitation, Officer Brown began conducting CPR while they waited for paramedics. Adding to the stress of the situation was the environment, which was dark and cramped, loud sound effects and flashing lights. Officer Brown continued CPR tirelessly until paramedics arrived. A defibrillator was then used on the victim before he was transported to the hospital. Officer Brown followed the paramedics to the hospital to check on his friend and learned that he'd suffered a heart attack. However, because of the immediate medical attention provided by Officer Brown, his friend survived. Officer Brown was faced with an unexpected medical emergency while off duty in a chaotic environment. He remained calm, took decisive action in applying immediate and effective care, which made the difference between life and death on that fateful night. It is our privilege to present Officer Cameron Brown with the Burbank Police Department Life-Saving Medal. Congratulations. Ross, oh, there he is. Just make sure you're here. Now, through the course of this afternoon, watch Ross work. He is quite a choreographer when it comes to photography. He's got a Broadway hit, as a matter of fact. Congratulations, Officer Brown. Our next group of awardees were all part of an incident that began on June 24th of 2016, just after midnight. Burbank police were dispatched to a McDonald's near the airport, where a caller reported a man inside a restaurant acting erratically, who was possibly armed with a handgun. When officers arrived, they saw the man inside the restaurant, indeed armed with a handgun. Officers first ensured that employees and innocent bystanders were evacuated to safety. They then engaged the suspect in dialogue, at which time the suspect threatened to shoot at them. A perimeter was established, and the Burbank Police armored vehicle was also deployed to provide mobile protection for the officers. As the situation continued to unfold, the suspect became more and more agitated. He paced around inside while making it difficult for officers to actually track his movements. Suddenly, the suspect fired one shot into the ceiling of the restaurant. The officers, however, maintained their positions, maintained their cool, showed great discipline, did not immediately return fire. A few moments later, the suspect pointed his handgun toward the officers outside and fired at them through the restaurant window. Officers Paul Lynn, Jesus Espandola, and Corey Cefalo fired their weapons, striking the suspect. The suspect then exited the restaurant through a window, fell to the ground, took his own life with a self-inflicted gunshot. A rescue team was formed, comprised of Sergeant Fletcher Stone, Sergeant Jeff Barkis, Officer Jonathan Martinez, Officer Paul French, and Detective Adam Chang. Together, they moved forward to contact the suspect and secure his firearm, taking him into custody and rendering medical aid. This was a collective team effort. Without the support of the communications operators, the Burbank Glendale Pasadena Airport Authority Police and Pasadena Police Department Air Operations Section, this incident could have had a very, very different outcome. However, with everyone working together, The incident was resolved with no innocent community member, no police officer being harmed. Aside from the names I've already mentioned, the following people were directly involved with this incident and its successful outcome. Detective Steven Santiago, Officer Edward Escobar, Officer Julie Krivik, Communications Supervisor Tony Montez, Communication Operator Brenda Perez Orozco, Communication Operator Amanda Gordon. And from the Burbank Glendale Pasadena Airport Authority Police, Sergeant Henry Gomez, Sergeant Ash Bencarios, Officer Tammy Alajajian, Officer Randy Richardson, Officer Tony Harper. From the Pasadena Police Department Air Operations Section, Officer Steve Thurston, Officer Sean Porter. I hope I didn't destroy too many of the names, because they are so very important. They honestly are. All of these public safety professionals came together and performed in a manner deserving of the Burbank Police Professional Esteem Award. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
We got to wait for the bus to get here to pick them all up, and then we'll... On the afternoon of July 2nd, 2010, two Burbank officers were escorting a shoplifting suspect out of Kmart when the suspect managed to disarm one of the officers of their duty weapon. The suspect was high on heroin and methamphetamine and determined to escape, even if it meant killing the officers. Gunfire was exchanged in an officer-involved shooting, which took place in a very busy parking lot. One of the officers was critically wounded after being struck directly by gunfire. The suspect was ultimately subdued and later booked for 2 counts of attempted murder on a police officer. Sergeant Brian Gordon, a detective at the time, was assigned to the lead investigator in the case. Over the next several years, Sergeant Gordon demonstrated poise and professionalism as he coordinated and completed a variety of tasks associated with bringing the case to trial and, of course, justice to the officers involved. Sergeant Gordon worked closely with the district attorney's office, and in July of 2016, the case finally went before a jury. The trial lasted 3 weeks and involved hours of witness testimony and the presentation of countless pieces of critical evidence, all of which was carefully planned and managed by Sergeant Gordon and the lead prosecutor. On July 15, 2016, 6 years after the incident, a jury unanimously convicted the defendant on all counts. In October of 2016, he was sentenced to 81 years to life in prison. Sergeant Gordon's hard work, dedication, and extraordinary efforts on this case have earned him the esteem of his colleagues and the entire community. For that, we present Sergeant Brian Gordon with the Burbank Police Professional Esteem Award. Now, the day-to-day operations of the Burbank Police Department rely heavily on support staff. One of the busiest and most important sections of the Burbank Police Department is the Records Bureau, which is managed by Jennifer Moran. Jennifer joined the department in 1995 and has been the records manager for the past 7 years. Jennifer oversees operations that include processing and maintaining criminal records, data entry into important databases, distribution of public records, and providing quality services to the public. She also supervises over a dozen employees dealing with personnel matters and training. In addition to these responsibilities, as if that's not enough, Jennifer ensures that civilian and sworn employees are up to date on required certifications and training pertaining to various law enforcement computer databases. She makes sure the department is adhering to strict compliance requirements with the Department of Justice. Jennifer has also undertaken a new role. Do you ever take a nap? Busy. A new role as the administrator of the computer-aided dispatch and report writing system used by the entire organization. Jennifer's work ethic speaks for itself. She often goes above and beyond what is expected of her. She's committed to providing the best quality service and exemplifies the department's core value of excellence as she continuously strives to improve not only herself, but her staff and the entire department. For her service, we are pleased and happy to present Jennifer Moran with the Professional Esteem Award. I know that it's hard. It's hard to come up here and be recognized in an industry and in a calling and a profession that's all about service. And understanding that your authority to lead comes through service is what makes Burbank Police Department above most. So it is, I know how humbling it is to come up here, but we appreciate the fact that you do. I wanted to take a moment here to recognize a recent retirement. Burbank Police K-9 Stevo. Stevo, as you can tell, is a Dutch Shepherd. Anybody from the Netherlands? Recognized him right away. Born in Holland in 2007. He joined the Burbank Police Force in 2010, and when he was assigned to his handler, Officer John Embleton. During his assignment, Stevo was trained in narcotics detection. He helped on SWAT incidents, handled countless building and suspect searches. Stevo also understood the importance of community outreach. I think he's searching for something now. As long as he doesn't come sniffing me, I think we're clear. He participated in so many events, often providing demonstrations on K-9 bites and searches. Don't demonstrate that now. Officer Embleton recalled a special moment when a person confined to a wheelchair and paralyzed from the waist down was able to pet Stevo after Stevo jumped into their lap with a lot of enthusiasm. How big Stevo is. That's no lap dog. It was not uncommon to find Stevo lounging around the police station late at night while Officer Embleton wrote reports. He was like any other police officer, not in the lounging around the police station. Sergeant Derek. He was a proud member of the Burbank Police Department. In 2016, Stevo's police career came to an end as he was retired from service. Fortunately, Officer Embleton was able to keep him close. Stevo's now home full-time with Officer Embleton and his family and has adapted well to his retired life. I think you can go by Embleton's house and you'll find Stevo making furniture in the garage. Playing golf. Yeah, he's just great. They always bowling. He likes to go bowling, I think. They often take Stevo to the park and hide objects for him to find, just so he has that satisfaction of searching again. Although Officer Embleton could not make it here today, K-9 Stevo has joined us and is accompanied by another Burbank police officer and K-9 handler, Joel Rodriguez. Stevo. Stevo smells chicken. Police officers rely on support from the community to do their jobs. Many times it's the citizens themselves that assist police officers in the successful outcome of a situation. It was March of 2016, and Diana Guerrero was at a bus stop at 1st Street at Magnolia Boulevard in Burbank. Diana noticed a young boy standing alone near the corner. The boy was crying, appeared frightened. Diana approached the boy, began speaking with him. She learned that the boy was lost after becoming separated from his family. Diana missed her own bus in order to spend time with that boy, building a rapport, and then notifying the Burbank Police Department. Police officers responded, took protective custody of the boy as they tried to locate his family. Diana willingly sacrificed her own time to accompany the boy back to the police station, which allowed officers to focus on the investigation and the search. Police officers were ultimately able to reunite the boy with his family. Diana's observation and willingness to get involved were instrumental in the successful resolution of this incident and to the boy's safety. The Burbank Police Department commends Diana's actions that day. Now, unfortunately, Diana was not able to join us. She actually finally got on that bus. But we would still like to recognize her as a recipient of the Burbank Police Department Citizen Award. Sorry, Ross, no pictures to take on this one. The Burbank Police are lucky to have a group of volunteers that work very hard in a variety of assignments within the department and contribute to so much of the day-to-day operations. Each year, the Burbank Police Department recognizes one volunteer for their extraordinary efforts and contributions. Now, stay with me here because this is amazing. When she's not helping the Burbank Police Department, volunteer Newbold Rettig is an accomplished musician, composer, and conductor. She's also proficient in martial arts, an expert in firearms, and a distinguished media producer. She can do... How do you pick that? I want to do this. Before joining as a volunteer, he graduated from the Burbank Police Department's Community Academy. Since then, he has contributed countless hours to the Burbank Police and has provided professional video and audio production services. She has directed and produced several public service announcements and other informational videos, which have been shared with the community through social media, the internet, and on the City of Burbank's award-winning public access television channel. Not only has devoted her time to the organization, but also her equipment. She's provided access to professional lighting, sound, and camera equipment, as well as her photography skills at numerous police events. Soon-He's dedication and commitment goes above and beyond the expectation of any volunteer in volunteer service. It is our privilege to recognize Soon-He Newbold Rettig as the 2016 Burbank Police Department Volunteer of the Year. Soon-He, what instrument or instruments do you play?
Violin, piano.
Violin, piano. No, that's all? Oh, yeah. Better watch that. She'll demonstrate that martial arts on me. I heard somebody say it. The Burbank Police Department also recognizes one civilian employee each year who is not a sworn law enforcement officer. Civilian employees are the backbone of the police department, handle a tremendous amount of administrative responsibilities. Sharise Barker joined the department in 2009 as a member of the Records Bureau Data Entry Unit. She quickly earned the reputation of a reliable, hardworking, and capable employee. In March of 2015, Sharise transferred to the Investigations Division as an administrative support to the Detective Bureau. She is well organized, handles a variety of complex tasks, including daily timesheets for over 25 employees, tracking of personnel forms, maintaining employee rosters, and coordinating supply orders with outside vendors. Sharise also manages schedules and work assignments for the police cadets and volunteers. Sharise works at the reception desk in the administrative lobby, where she's always offering a warm greeting to visitors of the police department and employees. Her positive attitude, here she goes. We're going to demonstrate that again. This side of the room didn't see it. Yeah. Let's see, where was I now? Sharice's exceptional work performance and unwavering devotion to help others has earned the esteem of her colleagues and is deserving of being named the non-sworn employee of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, Sharise Barker.
Let's all shift your, oh, that way, is everything there? Thank you very much.
Well, we are now down to our final award, the Burbank Police Department's Officer of the Year. Sergeant Mark Stohl began his career with the Burbank Police Department in 2000. He has worked as a patrol officer, a field training officer, gang detective, and as a detective in the Eurasian Task Force. You can step up there, I don't mind being short. In 2012, Mark was promoted to the rank of sergeant and was transferred back to patrol, where he supervised and mentored young officers. In 2015, he moved back to the Investigations Division as the sergeant overseeing property crime investigations. That's where I first met, no, I'm kidding. Over the past 3 years, Sergeant Stohl took the lead on implementing the new roomier Ford Explorer police SUVs in the Burbank Police fleet, which are outfitted with the latest technology. In fact, the Burbank Police Ford Explorers won the Best Cruiser Vehicle Design at the 2014 Cops West Expo in Long Beach, thanks largely in part to Sergeant Stohl's insight and dedication to that project. Sergeant Stohl's solid background and experience has contributed to his competence and his excellence. He is a mentor to younger officers and detectives, and his enthusiasm for police work is incredibly contagious. Sergeant Stohl demands excellence of himself, inspires others to work for him to do the same. He is known to have a photographic memory and combines good old-fashioned police work with the use of technology. Sergeant Stohl's work ethic is representative of the mission and core values of the Burbank Police Department and reflects positively on the entire law enforcement profession. It is our pleasure to introduce to you the 2016 Burbank Officer of the Year, Sergeant Mark Stohl. Please join me in one more round of applause for all of our recipients today. Ross, did you want to? Sure. Don't use the word shot here. What a great afternoon. It was great to be able to share with you these stories of bravery, heroism, professionalism, and recognizing the contributions of the men and women of the Burbank Police Department, as well as the members of the Burbank community. And Burbank is such a great city. And to see such support from everyone here means so much. On behalf of the Chief and the Burbank Police Department and the Burbank Police Foundation, I would like to thank each and every one of you for joining us today, so I'll be coming around to the tables to do that. And I hope you will join us again next year as we pay tribute to those who provide so much to the community and are truly making a difference. Thank you, and good afternoon.
And I hear one more very round, very loud, very rousing support from Mr. Jim Roope, our MC. As the president of the Police Foundation, we are growing. You've got to figure we're less than 4 years old as a foundation, but look what this has produced over 4 years of hard work. If I could have just the luncheon committee come up here, I'd like you all to come up. I'd like, come on, up here. Yes. Please come up on the stage. This is not easy to do, especially when called in the 11th hour, because we lost a couple of members during the structure of this luncheon, but it was done with heart, soul, and hard work. And don't be shy. And also the script today was written by Derek Green, who's our PIO, who had, how about a round of applause for that? That was not an easy job. Thank you, George. And one more thanks to Ron Stavert for this fantastic hospitality here at Pickwick Gardens. And last but not least, on behalf of the Burbank Police Foundation, we would not be here if it wasn't for the men and the women and the Chief of Police for allowing us to honor them, to get you to thank them, for the community to recognize the greatness that they bring to us every single day, and the security and the comfort that we have knowing that when we're walking, talking, sleeping, working, they're there protecting us. Thank you all very much. See you next year.